Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. Today I'm going to be talking about the state of the market and if we are going to have another altcoin run and my overall thoughts from a macro perspective. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not an expert. Do your own research. So I'll briefly go through Bitcoin for right now, and I will just briefly talk about kind of the price action that I'm seeing and what I'm looking at. Overall, this is still just a ranging, choppy consolidation for Bitcoin. What we're seeing basically is these range highs around 60K or 59.7K, and these range lows. Both of these areas have been tapped multiple times. Price was not strong enough to get up to these near 62K levels. I personally thought that they would on the last go, but they were not. And what we're seeing right now is a ranging consolidation. This ranging consolidation is a little bit different than the ranging consolidation that we saw back in January. Remember, in January, this ranging consolidation was very, very bullish for altcoins, and the entire altcoin market collectively pumped. That's kind of what I'm looking for the next altcoin run, is a collective altcoin pump. Now, throughout February and March, we have seen many altcoins do very well. So, for instance, in February, stuff like Theta and I think Zil might have accumulated. I can't remember. There were many altcoins that pumped stronger in February, and in March, many NFT projects pumped very strongly, such as AXS and CHZ. But right now, we're not seeing a collective altcoin move where everything is just simultaneously pumping and it's like no lose season. And that's kind of what we saw back in January, but we haven't really seen a collective altcoin pump yet since January. Now, when are we going to see this altcoin pump? I actually am not quite sure. Similar to this price action for Bitcoin in January, we generally need to see Bitcoin go into a range, and right now we are seeing a smaller range formed right here between 59.7 and 53K, but this isn't, it's still very choppy right now, and even the slightest downturn for Bitcoin sends altcoins into a large losing trend on the very short term time frames or short time frames. So right now what we're seeing is just choppy price action. I mean, it looks to me like this area right here around 57.5K is like a supply zone, so this will be bearish. Price wicked up into it right now. It wouldn't surprise me again to see another tap of the range lows, and if that happens, that's going to be fairly bearish. What we're seeing right now is a smaller and smaller reactions if that happens to that level. So you might see this and something like this, and then it'll fall through. Generally speaking, altcoins don't thrive when Bitcoin goes on a short downtrend or chops. It did do that very well in January, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for right here again to see. But let's look. So I guess my general thoughts on Bitcoin is that it's choppy right now. I actually don't really truly know where this is going. I mean, it's certainly possible that this goes to this consolidation area around kind of 48 to 46K, around this area. It's certainly possible, and if that happens, then I expect altcoins will not do very well in the short term while this drops off, but then they will rebound. However, with that said, I do think it's possible, and I'm still leaning this way, that altcoins will have its second run collectively, meaning we'll see another big altcoin pump like we saw in January. And the reasons are that I am using, again, this is a small sample size, but I'm using the last few years as an indicator for this. And what you can see right here is a typical altcoin market cycle. And this is the inverse Bitcoin dominance chart. So meaning when you see price go up in this regard, this is basically altcoins doing very well against Bitcoin. Normal Bitcoin dominance charts, like for instance right here, is mainly when the higher that Bitcoin dominance goes up, it's Bitcoin's market cap relative to the total market cap. Usually, generally speaking, the higher BTC-D goes, the worse it is for altcoins. And what you really want to see is Bitcoin dominance going lower. This is the normal chart, but I like to use the inverse Bitcoin dominance chart just because it's a little bit easier to understand. Basically, when price goes up for here, altcoins are doing well. So as we can see right here, these are some notes, and I've gone through this multiple times throughout other videos, so check those out. But very briefly, what you see is December and January, big altcoin pumps. You'll see a big pullback period in February for about a month, February to March. And then you'll see a springtime pump in the blue period from April to May. And this is usually about a month-long period. And then we see some summer pullback in 2018, 2019. And 2020 was an anomaly, or just different, because of decentralized finance. So this is like the typical market cycle that we see for the altcoin market. And I believe that we are getting close to entering this blue period here, where we see a springtime pump period for the altcoin market. And we didn't quite see a big pullback for altcoins during the month of February and March. And this chart in general will probably have less and less relevance as there are more altcoins added to the overall market. And we'll look at ETH BTC here in a second, because I believe that might be a better indicator for the overall health of the altcoin market. But personally, I think that we are going to see maybe one more round of altcoins running. And I think that collectively we'll see a period like January 2021 where we saw altcoins just do very well as a whole. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean every single altcoin will pump. I will briefly go into some of the ones that I am not going to be targeting, but let's look now at the ETH BTC chart, which I believe is a better indicator for alt season. So right here, we'll just look. Well, this is not the same shade of blue. I think TradingView changed some stuff, but I think we're about to view maybe like this next period as another move for altcoins, which would be really, really nice to see, in my opinion. Excuse me. Okay, so let's look at ETH BTC here. ETH BTC is a coin that has pulled back a lot over the last several weeks. I personally thought that there was maybe a little bit more pain to go. And these are my levels here on the ETH BTC chart. Oopsies. So you can see this basic range right here where Ethereum failed to break out of it. Truly, I mean, it almost broke out in January and February, but it didn't convincingly close. And now it's pulling back. I believe it's about to tap the EQ of this range at the equilibrium, so the middle. And you can basically look at some compression as well. The 50 EMA and the 200 EMA on the weekly, which is it's something that you don't really see at all actually in crypto, just because many coins are so much newer. You don't see the 200 EMA work that well on the weekly. So Coinbase chart, and there's some other ones too, like Poloniex maybe, or the ETH BTC chart will show up, and that's actually kind of interesting to see. This 200 EMA on the weekly acted as resistance back in August of 2020, and it acted briefly as support in January, and then now it's fallen through. And what you want to see for these EMAs is basically the more recent EMA to start bullishly crossing over the lagging EMA, so the 200 in this instance, the red line. So in my opinion, ETHBTC is generally a good indicator for the overall health of the altcoin market. And I'm talking about collectively too. I mean, as I said before, there are many altcoins that did pump very strongly before in February and March, but I'm mainly talking about a collective pump where you see many altcoins just all do very, very well. And what we're seeing right here is ETHBTC moving very strongly in January and then pulling back over the last few months basically. And I believe that it's about to find its bottom here around the EQ of the range, 0.028 area, and then I'm hoping that this will rebound. And if it does rebound, then I expect that ETHBTC will pull the entire market up, meaning Ethereum will go to like $2,000 or something like that, or higher, and probably 2,500 maybe, and then we'll see after that. I'm not exactly sure, but I do believe that we are going to see another collective altcoin pump. Now, what altcoins am I viewing? I did do a video on the coins that I am currently viewing, and those coins included Alpha, which looks still really good in my opinion. And the reason why I still think that there will be a collective altcoin pump is that coins like Alpha led before in January. I mean, it had that massive run, and then it's pulled back in February, and then it accumulated in March, all throughout the basically 110 level to like the 180, 190, $2 area. And right now we're seeing Alpha kind of move up strongly, and all of the EMAs were basically curling up. This is a very bullish sign when you start to see all the EMAs start to curl up like this and start to bullishly curl. As you can see right here, during the big run up, when you see such a big gap between price and some of the lagging EMAs, you know that price is overextended, and that's exactly what happened for Alpha. Price dipped below, and then it started to consolidate, and now it is moving, pulling back a little bit today, but I still feel that eventually the $3 area will get tapped. But this coin right here is a good reason why I still believe that there will be another altcoin pump, and there are many other charts that look like this. Band is one exact similar one where you see a big run up back in January, and then a pullback all throughout February, and then now a month-long accumulation period. So now I believe that coins like Band are going to go up 1 inch again, kind of similar price action. It's a little bit choppier in general, but we still saw like massive moves down in late February. And again, briefly, we will look at AAVE here. AAVE has a different type of price action because it moved very, very strongly, and it had a more violent pullback. And in my opinion, like I still think that AAVE will have another run, but it might take a little bit longer because it did pump stronger than coins like Band or whatever. But it wouldn't surprise me to see some price action similar to this, where you see maybe another test of 320, and it really already hit, and then it'll go back up. But overall, I still believe that this still looks fine, and I still think that this looks bullish. Invalidation for me would be a loss of like $300 around that area. You really don't want to see 250 get lost, in my opinion. But something to really understand as well is that this run will probably be better for many alt BTC pairs. So an example would be something like RSR. RSR has been doing very well lately, but you can basically see that the alt BTC pair for alt RSR has not done very well. I believe that the second run could do pretty well for many alt BTC pairs that didn't run before. So, I mean, coins like DOT BTC already ran very strongly, and maybe like a second run is going to come here. But really, there's many coins that have charts like RSR where you'll see price basically ping-ponging and accumulating, and I believe that a second run is going to be coming soon for that. Coins that I'm not going to be viewing or targeting are coins like Solana that had a big run up in February, because I believe that Solana because of the timing of the pump really for Solana. It really pumped strongly during February, and now it's going to be entering its accumulation period, whereas coins like Alpha already, it basically was falling during February and then accumulating. So in my opinion, we are maybe seeing coins like Solana maybe have a little bit more downside, and then it might hit its accumulation pattern. Personally, I'm just going to be viewing Solana at like $10, maybe a little higher, but it's also going to depend on the entire market in general, though, because if the entire market starts collectively pumping, like I hope it will, then maybe Solana will not hit these lower levels and just keep going higher. But I'm really viewing the coins that had large downtrends, like AAVE, went from almost $600 to basically half that, around 300. And those types of coins are the ones that I'm really viewing right now. Just because I feel that these have consolidated and pulled back enough to the point where I think that the second run is ready to move again. And coins like Solana that did really well in February might still have a little bit more of downside and then need to range a little bit more before they start going up. But again, it's going to depend heavily on the entire market environment. If everything starts to pump, then I expect Solana will too. This might anger people, but I'm also not going to be viewing coins like Luna. It's still a great project. I mean, coins did really, really well over the last month in March. You can basically see this accumulation period in February, and then it ran hard in March. I believe now that it's time to cool off, though. And coins like AXS, I mean, this is a coin that basically, again, ran hard in March. NFT, kind of the NFT hype cycle. I would start bidding around 330 or so and kind of being patient with that. Many other EMAs too are actually much lower. So like you might even be able to get this one at 250. Just be patient, in my opinion. But again, it's going to depend on the environment. If the environment is all collectively pumping, then this one probably will pump as well. But I'm still viewing coins like Alpha as having higher upside in the short term than coins like CHZ, AXS. Same deal. I mean, this one pumped hard in March, and now it's pulling back in the later parts. So this might be entering its kind of ranging accumulation period again that we saw for coins like Alpha. And if you really want to look at coins that have great accumulation price action just to study and get better, Theta is always the one that I always look for because it always has like bull flag after bull flag. I mean, you saw this again in March, and now it's going absolutely bananas still, although it looks like it's starting to pull back. And I would just use fibs if I wanted to look at entries for Theta. But Theta also had its long accumulation period back in January. So I remember even saying that these are the coins that you want to target, basically. Theta and ZIL and a few other coins basically accumulated in January and didn't move, but I still ended up just scalping it and not making nearly enough. I could have just made a lot more if I just bought it and held it for a little bit of time. I just basically scalped it on the way up, and then that was it. So this always has really good bullish accumulation, and these are the coins that I'm viewing, basically coins that. Well, Theta has its own market cycle. Theta is just really strong, but I mean, I still probably am not going to be viewing Theta as a one that I'm targeting. I'm targeting more coins that have pulled back, but that's kind of my plan right now. I still believe that altcoins are going to have a second run here coming up, like collectively, and we will see a pump like we saw in January of 2021. With that said, it still could take a little bit longer, and it also depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin really starts to shit the bed and really just starts dumping heavily, for instance, if it starts losing 48K and lower, then I think that we are just going to be done for a while. I think that was that for altcoins for a while, and altcoins will just go ahead and just go lower and accumulate, which is totally fine too. It's like, this chart is still, I mean, you could argue like now it's just bearish and it's just going to go all the way back down to the 150 or something like that. That's entirely possible. Like anybody that's played altcoin market cycles You know, if you look at any really older coin with the BTC pair, you'll see some like absolute just destruction of these altcoins. And I think that it's probably going to happen again. I mean, even if you look at something like YFI during decentralized finance summer, I mean, this still went from what, 44 to 7K, 83% in just a few months. And this is like very common for altcoins. And this, you know, this happened in late 2020 too. So it's not like saying that, oh, that was 2017, that was 2018, that was years ago. Market's changed now. Market hasn't changed that much to the point where I think that altcoins are still going to be pulling back heavily, because when the bear market happens, like no coin will be able to survive really. There might be a few outliers, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys also make sure that you are flexible with your thinking. Don't think too hard and be too rigid with your overall ideas or thoughts. Always be able to be flexible and realize that you might be wrong. Like I might be totally off on my altcoin second run cycle like coming up. Like if that happens, then that's okay. I will have to just adjust and just change my plans, and that's totally normal. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and good luck.